Why, hello there. Welcome to Smokey's, my virtual gaming store. I'm glad you stopped by. I heard you're looking for some nostalgic, kind of retro throwback games, but not too far back. If so, I got the perfect lot set up of games over here for you from a very specific console, the Xbox 360. And these are just a few of the games that I really enjoyed throughout my childhood and played on the 360. So I'd love to go through some of the titles, show and explain a little bit about each of them to you. And if you're interested in any of them, feel free. They're all up for sale. So let's begin with some of my personal favorites. Franchise that in the past was near and dear to my heart. We'll start with Battlefield 3. Of course, first-person shooter, more realistic than some of the other first-person shooters out at the time. But this really stood out with the lobby size and the amount of players in the games and the vehicles and classes. It was all just very unique. You could fly jets, you could drive tanks, you could do a whole lot of stuff. There were squads, and really got to interact with the team. And it was more of a team game. There was no standout sole survivor kind of person who could carry a whole team to win the game. Of course, it is rated M for mature, so be wary around the children. But arguably, did have a single player and multiplayer. Multiplayer was the main focus for me, but arguably a better game than that was its sequel, Battlefield 4. I think one of my favorite games of all time. Definitely my favorite first-person shooter of all time. Again, rated M for mature. This one expanded on the mechanics of Battlefield 3 and really shot up into popularity. A lot of great maps, the mechanics, the gameplay, the gunplay, all the weapons and classes, a lot of levolution, which is a lot of buildings and objects able to be destroyed. The physics in the game was just astounding, and the graphics for its time. Great game on the Frostbite 3 engine. It won Best of E3 for 2013. And this one includes the China Rising expansion pack. I don't know on console, but I know that on computer the servers are still alive and well. You can hop in, there's probably a few thousand people online at any given time. So, I would highly recommend getting into Battlefield 4 at least, or the Battlefield franchise, if you haven't experienced it at some point yet. Moving on to something similar, sticking with the first-person shooters, we have the legendary Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare Platinum Hits Bestseller Award. This was also rated M, made by Infinity War. This was my introduction into the Call of Duty franchise, and definitely no longer in its prime, but really bare bones for kind of what we're used to now, but at the time it was very amazing. It just felt good to play, felt right. All the gunplay was a bit more rage-inducing, but it's Call of Duty. This was the first game I played the campaign in, and played through the whole thing. Actually enjoyed the story of a Call of Duty game, or really any game for that matter. I was always used to playing multiplayer. I was pretty young playing this. The M for mature didn't really matter much to us, I guess. But great game. And going through some of the other games in the franchise, the next one, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, I believe for multiplayer this would be my favorite Call of Duty game. The multiplayer just felt amazing. I was into the trick shotting side of it with sniper rifles. You can still play the multiplayer, I believe, on Xbox. I played it a few years ago. Definitely on PC. And again, probably if you haven't played this or other Call of Duties. If you haven't played this or other Call of Duties around this time, then it might feel a bit old and outdated. But the nostalgic grip it has on me, it's amazing. This also comes with a Spec Ops mode that you can play with your friends, which are special missions. You try to get different stars on it based on the difficulty. So, this campaign is great too, a little controversial, but a great campaign nonetheless. And finally, we have Call of Duty Black Ops, the game after Modern Warfare. This game, I believe the multiplayer kind of sucked, but the campaign was good again, and where this one really shined to me was the Zombies mode. World at War, one of the other games that I'm not showing in this little series, was the first to have a Zombies mode, but Black Ops 1 really kind of set the groundwork for what it would be in the future games too. And it was exploratory enough to be fun and very replayable, but also, compared to what we're used to now, again, very bare bones. This one comes with a free $15 value of the First Strike content pack, which is 5 bonus multiplayer maps and a Zombies map. Again, rated M for mature. That'll be a theme on almost all of these games. That shouldn't be a problem for you, though. This one is also where the Mason memes come from. The numbers, Mason. What do they mean? Prime gaming from my childhood, the nostalgic. Another first-person shooter, not in any of these franchises, but a popular one that I wasn't super into, but I had some friends that were really into it. It's Halo. Halo 3 was the one that I played the most. Me and my brother and some friends had a lot of fun in the Forge. Just a game mode where you could go and mess around in. This was unique, the Halo series, because it was only on Xbox. It was only a Microsoft game. But you play as Spartans or Master Chief if you're real lucky. Fight the alien covenants. Or you can go into multiplayer and fight your friends. I believe I finished the campaign in this, but only once. It was just fun to go and mess around in and shoot the big laser guns and drive the vehicles and all that stuff. There are new Halos out now, and they're still being made. Halo Infinite came out 2 years ago, and I'm not sure if there's another one in the works yet or not. I'm not too big on a current Halo. This one was made by Bungie. So, first-person shooter. Moving away from that type of first-person shooter. Let me sort through these here a little bit. I have arguably the greatest story game of all time, and one that just has a nostalgic death grip over me is Borderlands 2. I still play this game on and off to this day. It's kind of like the Minecraft phase, where once a year I'll play through the story and grind it a little bit, you know? But Borderlands 2, I just got the Pandora's Box version, which is everything in the Borderlands franchise. I've never played Borderlands 1, so I'm going to be giving that a go soon, and I'm going to be playing through all of the Borderlands games in order to really get the full experience over the course of probably the first half of this year. But this was great, an amazing story, lots of replayability, a great game if you like to farm and grind for loot, millions of different weapon types because of the variations on attachments, farm bosses, get loot, like I said, level up. You can level up a bunch up now with the DLCs up to 72 levels and 10 OP levels. The characters were fun to play as. To start, you had Zero the Assassin, Maya the Siren, Salvador the Gunzerker, and Axton the Commando. And the best part about this game was the dialogue and just how well the characters interacted with each other, how alive the game felt, and lots of quotable lines and moments from this. Gearbox and 2K. As of right now, they're supposed to be coming out with a movie eventually for Borderlands with Kevin Hart and Jack Black, and I don't know what to expect from it, but they do have Borderlands 3 that's been released, some Tales from the Borderlands, Tiny Tina Wonderlands, which I'm planning on playing eventually as well. But if you're into story games and a little bit of a grind, definitely try out Borderlands 2. Now, this one's a little bit out there, and it's not the story game, it's the multiplayer version. If the story was good in the original, I didn't really care for the story in this version of the game, but the multiplayer was where this game shined in my eyes, and that is Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare. So this is obviously Red Dead Redemption is the original, Undead Nightmare is the zombie version. I don't really understand why they felt the need to release a zombie version for a Wild West game, but play as the famous John Marston out in the Wild West, and I couldn't really tell you what the story is, to be honest. Just some lawless bandits. There's now a Red Dead Redemption 2. The story on that is great. I haven't played any of the multiplayer, but this multiplayer was great, especially as a younger kid, getting on with your friends, running around in the mountains, hunting bears, robbing trains, getting horse-drawn carriages, just messing around with other people in the game, doing missions. Very fun. I'm sure the servers are dead by now, but it had to be an honorable mention. The original game and the second game have great stories. This one was just kind of weird with zombies. I don't know what it was trying to fit into, but the world is gone overnight. Deranged hordes have overrun the towns and outposts of the American frontier. In a desperate attempt to save his family, John Marston must traverse a world torn apart by chaos and disorder, using every skill he has to survive long enough to find a cure. But now, the game with a bunch of awards that I'm sure everybody has heard or seen memes about at the very least, and a great story game that will captivate you for tens, if not 100 or 200 hours, is The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. This is the Kinect version, I guess. I don't know, we never had a Kinect here, but I don't know what I can say about Skyrim that hasn't already been said. The game's been out for 13 years now. This game, if you're into fantasy, amazing. Nostalgic for me, as I'm sure with a lot of other people, but even first-timers can probably have a blast in playing this game. Let me read a little synopsis on the back. Again, M for mature. There hasn't been any that haven't been. The last 2 games will be E and teen, so we'll be good there. But dragons, long lost to the passage of the Elder Scrolls, have returned to Tamriel, and the future of the Empire hangs in the balance. As the Dragonborn, the prophesied hero born with the power of the voice, you are the only one who can stand amongst them. Very, very fun game. Honestly, real talk, even if you're not a gamer, looking up videos that just explain the lore of Skyrim and the Elder Scrolls and different hidden stories from the games, and it's a lot of fun, especially if you're into fantasy and stuff like that. It's great to just listen to and learn the lore behind it, because it's so in-depth. But if you're not too into the mature, bloody, gory games and all that, we have E10 Plus for Need for Speed Most Wanted. Fun racing game. The Need for Speed series is a popular one for cars. Racing, this one's fun because it was multiplayer. I could finally play with some friends and drive around in a big open world. I think there was a story in this. I haven't touched this game in probably 10 years, to be honest. But this one was fun. Outrun the cops, street race with your friends, just drive around and do stunt jumps. If you're a car person, the Need for Speed franchise is definitely one to check out. It holds up to this day. I know they've been releasing games in recent time as well. This one won the Best of Game Critics Award at E3 in 2012. So, E10 Plus for those younger people who want to just drive around a bit and cause some chaos. And finally, our last game is one that is a social game. In person, more than over the Xbox chats and stuff. But this genre is very popular, and I'm sure even non-gamers have played this or another version of this game a lot, and it's great for hand-eye coordination. But Guitar Hero and Honorably Rock Band. This is the Guitar Hero I played, World Tour. I got a couple others, but this was the one I played the most for some reason. Had some great songs, like Living on a Prayer, Hollywood Nights, Sweet Home Alabama, Beat It, Hot for Teacher, Band on the Run, The Joker, Crazy Train, Mr. Crowley. There's a lot on the back here, and it ends with and many more. This one is the unopened version. We had a couple of these. So this one's still in its original packaging. This one's rated T for teen, but if anybody listens to classic music, I mean, it's not like this game is new and hip. So they don't have, I mean, it's a rock band song, Guitar Hero song, right? They gotta have good rock songs. So made by Activision. So if you're into the guitar, you'll need the guitar for this. You can also have the drums, but guitar is the way to go. Really solidify and improve your hand-eye coordination. That's what I did. I love this. If you can play it on expert, you're an expert, man. But yeah, so that is my stack of games here. If you are interested in any, let me know, and I'll put them to the side for you and ship them off to you. So thanks for stopping by and kind of having a little show and tell of the games, some of the popular, more better games that I got here, and I hope this was helpful to you. So thank you, and let me know what you would like. Otherwise, I'll see you soon. Stop by again soon too. Peace out.